Hello, modern Juder. We're in Estero, Florida at Hertz Arena. Let's check out these drums, man. Come on. Dude, here's the first thing I think of when I look at this kit. These are Pearl drums. I've never owned a drum in my life that was not made by Pearl. It's like marrying my high school sweetheart or something. But we never got to the resentful phase. I still love them. These are the only drums anyone has ever seen me play this decade. They are reference pure drums. I just asked them for something anybody could buy off the shelf that looks simple, chrome hardware, black finish, like they don't draw too much attention to themselves, and they just sound freaking amazing every time I hit them. And that's these reference pures, man. So it's all I've played for a really long time. I'll tell you the other thing about this kit. I've realized that they all sound good to me, so I may as well use small sizes. In these big rooms where the PA is doing all the work, I've realized, well, why don't I just play a 20-inch kick and a 12, 14, 16 on the toms. I learned this from sitting at the drum set of the great Carter Beauford. It looks like he's playing a spaceship, but the drums are tiny. They're so compact and they're so close together. So I do a similar thing here. I keep my head way above all the equipment. The highest thing on here is this China cymbal. So wherever you are in the front row or wherever if you snap a photo of these drums, you still get my shining face on top of them, man. Because music is about the look, dude. That's what's up with these drums. The other thing I'll tell you, if you don't know, the other thing I'll tell you about reference pure drums is the wood that they make the drums out of changes as the size of the drum changes. I can't tell you what it starts at or what it ends at, but they all sound freaking great. Insert B-roll of them sounding awesome. We have Evans heads on them. Same deal. I've never owned a drum head that wasn't made by Evans. I painstakingly, a couple of years ago, out of boredom, I had them send me every snare drum head ever. I hit all of them. It took me all day. And as soon as I hit the heavyweight, I said, it's over. This is the only snare drum head I ever want to own for the rest of my life. It's very durable. I bleed all over these, but I've never broken one before. My hand will break before I will break this head. And it sounds great. I hit really hard, and these just respond well to whacking the mess out of them. So these sound good. The EC2s are new as of this tour. I can't tell you much about them, but we're gonna get my drum techs up here, and they're gonna tell you what's up with these heads, because they picked them.
These Evans EC2S's on the toms, and we love those. They're big, nice, bright, round sound. They really sound good in these rooms and outside. We're using a heavyweight on the snare here. We've got that cranked pretty tight. EMAD heavyweight down there on the kick drum, and man, that thing's a monster. It just growls through this arena. But yeah, man, it's a beautiful kit and it sounds great. It sounds great night to night, indoors and out. It's really sweet kit.
Thank you, man. It only sounds good because of this dude Chase, and we love him. So if you see him on the street, give him some love, man. The esteemed and doodly Meinl cymbals. I never leave home without them. I love these. You will notice they're all the same series of Byzants. They said, do you want a sand crash, or do you want a medium crash, or a dark crash, or you want a dual crash? I said, dude crash? Yeah, send me the dude crash. And they said, no, it's dual. I go, yeah, send me the dude crash. So they misspelled it, but that says dude crash. Use a 22 here. This is the dude China. The dude splash. I put that on top of an extra dry, medium thin splash. They make stacks, and I played a bunch of those, but dude, honestly, let's really dig in here. You came all this way. Let's take a look. honestly, just a splash cymbal on top of a splash cymbal is enough for me. So this is the extra dry splash, and this is the dude splash. 10 and a 12. That's my favorite stack combination for just a little burst of white noise, almost like a hand clap. That's happening a lot in modern music. I just don't really prefer to play electronic samples, man. I would rather play acoustic instruments to recreate that feel. So that's what this stack is about. More dude cymbals, dude hats. These are 15s. I just like big hats. If they made them in 16, I would probably play 16s, honestly, man. I just like them huge. And the last cymbals over here are just clones of what I have on the left. The reason for that is we just carry less inventory that way. You can see I break these from playing them too hard, but I actually like to continue to play them when they're cracked. It sort of quiets them down and dries them out a little bit. I really always like when cymbals are heard more than felt anyway, if that makes any sense. So I welcome them cracking, but eventually if they explode, we just replace them. It does not matter which one breaks. We just replace it with the same thing. So same goes with these China cymbals. Let's look at hardware. This is the thing I get asked about the most, man. I'll be explaining this until I die. It's backwards. I know, man. I know I set it up backwards. The first time I ever sat at a drum set and the hi-hats were over here, I just very naturally, I'm right-handed, I very naturally put my left hand where the hi-hat was, my right hand where the snare drum was. And I wish I had not listened to the civilized adult who told me, no, you have to switch them over and do this. I wish I hadn't learned this way, because as soon as I started playing open, this is like a lazy, illegitimate way of playing open. I felt better. My snare drum strokes can come up from higher. I'm making myself bleed out of the hands less from hitting myself, dude. It solved a lot for me. So the way I did it is you just need two things to do this, man. Well, three things. First thing you need is to be insane. And the second thing that you need is a remote hi-hat. This is a Pearl RH 2050, dude. The hat cymbals are here, but the pedal is over here, man. And so you can keep, if you're left-footed but you want to play hats on the right, for only, I don't know how much this thing costs, for only $300 or something, you can do it, man. The other thing is, to keep the kick centered, I had to get a lefty double kick pedal. And I'm playing this slave pedal right here as my primary kicker. And I think that sounds crazier than it is. Your feet will feel the same as they do like playing an ordinary righty drum set. It's just that what looks like your primary pedal ends up being like your less dominant foot. So, dude, and I like that I can keep these pedals really close together so you can play them both with the same foot. There's no legs, there's no hi-hat stand down here to get in the way. Dig it. The other thing I'll tell you about this pedal, if you care to know and you are a super nerd, I have them put wood beaters on these. It's like the equivalent of playing nylon tip sticks or something. Maybe it just gives you 2% extra stick definition, so to speak, attack or something. And this music I'm out here doing with Hardy is so metal-esque, it's so double kick intensive that I like having that definition out of my feet. So I use these wood beaters. They used to be orange. I beat them all to hell. I really have broken kick heads before that were one ply. And this heavyweight is like 2 thick plies. So we still change them all the time. I have, in an arena just like this, kicked the beater all the way through the kick head and had to play the rest of the set using the floor tom as a kick drum. Embarrassing, red stamp. I won't speak too much on the microphones. I won't act like I know really what they are, but I recognize 904s on the toms. I did not choose them. Our brilliant front of house engineer Turbo chose them. This is my 7th year of touring with him, and I have learned by now he knows a lot more about how to make drums sound good than I do. So he says 904, I say, yes, sir. Oh, captain, my captain. The snare mic, shocker, it's an SM57, which honestly says a lot. I think one reason I'm pointing that out is by the time you have the resources to use like a fancy luxury snare mic and you're still using a $99 SM57, I think that means they must be pretty good for snare drums, man. So sounds good to me. We have a 52 and a 91, both Kelly shoe mounted inside of the kick. Yeah, and it just all sounds great. The only other mic up here that you may be wondering about is this little secret one in the pouch right here. This right here is how I talk to Hardy and the crew in case there's an emergency up here, or I need to remind people the flame columns are about to go off, or if I just want to tenderly give some love to Hardy, you know, give him some encouragement, man. As if there aren't already 20,000 people doing that. I don't know. I just want to get my word in. And that's what this secret microphone is. It just goes to our ears. Nobody out here can hear it, hopefully, because we say some pretty uncalled for things on this mic. I can't believe it. This is my model of Vic Firth stick. It's called the Dude Stick. It feels like having my own Nike shoe up here or something for my weird isms. These are long, for one thing. They're longer than the average stick. Take that how you will. Most drumsticks are 16 in length. These aren't quite 17, but they're up there. They're closer to 17 than they are to 16. And most sticks that way are like baseball bats. They're so heavy. So these are just a little thinner. They still have meat to them, but they're not like marching sticks or something. So we're gonna have to ask Chase how many of these I break every night, man. I snap them, but they feel like an extension of my body. They just feel so good in my hands. And they are available at Forks Drum Closet in Nashville, Tennessee. Go find them, man. I'll have Mark Arnold talk you through the drum rack as well. He used to work for that up-and-comer Taylor Swift, and we poached him. He came over here to greener pastures to make these drum racks up here, man. So smooth, so beautiful. Here we have Mark Arnold, the dude designer of this drum rack himself, right here, man.
Yeah.
Welcome, dude.
Thank you for having me, dude.
Here's my first question.
Yeah.
Do you think anybody on earth owns more issues of Modern Drummer than you do?
Probably not.
How many you got? Dating back to what year?
1977 was the first year. From probably 1977 to about 2000, every print Modern Drummer ever done. Maybe even later than that.
Yeah, top that, man. And there were no good drummers after 2000 anyway. Dude, tell us about this beautiful drum rack. Take us into it, man.
So you had the desire to kind of make everything asymmetrical because this side was originally shorter. And so we did that. And I think we kind of both had the idea about the twin China cymbals.
Dude, this is true. Never in a million years did it occur to me to have two China cymbals until Mark said to do it. It's his fault.
It's actually Tommy Lee's fault. That's where I got the idea.
What else is going on with this drum rack, man? Anything else you want to tell the people so they can make their own at home?
We customized these parts. I don't remember the names or the numbers of those bars. We call these the Captain Hooks. I don't know the model number of them. But so this part actually, it only has one clamp on an end. And so we added the other Captain Hook on the other end. And so it's an 18-inch custom-made bar. And then this whole contraption right here is custom because it's the same 18-inch bar. So all the square bars are all 18-inch. They're all the same. And then we did the mic stands on the inside bar, and yeah, everything is symmetrical. We did the mic stands from the Pearl boom arms, and there you go.
Beautifully done, Mark. Very low to the ground. These are called AL86 AC, by the way. These bars, I mean. These MH830s, they look like cymbal stands that hold mics, so it just all looks like drum stuff instead of like drum and audio stuff. Thank you for this beautiful rack, Mark.
Well, thank you for letting me have the chance to work on it.
To keep the face looking fresh, the moneymaker, we just hang a little sweat towel here. And our friends from Liquid Death keep me hydrated. I'm a nerd, I only drink water, but at least I can seem like I'm one of the dudes here, drinking out of a tall boy. Now you might be saying to yourself, dude, Harry, what a nice drum set you have, but I don't have it. This is on loan from my friend, Mocking Bee Crow, right here. He flew from hell to bring us this album that we're touring right now, The Mockingbird and the Crow, and he overlooks the show every night. Maybe the most interesting thing up here. I don't like being this way. I like just playing stuff that you can buy off the shelf. But we had every Pearl snare drum ever made 6.5 by 14 out of metal. We played every single one of them through a recording, dude. And we picked this one. And then we found out after we picked it that they only made like 100 of them, dude. So they're very hard to find. You can see I found this one in the sunken remains of the Titanic. It's a little rusty. But this is the heaviest drum I've ever picked up in my life. I think it's called the 30th anniversary free float brass snare drum, but it's not just their ordinary free floating brass. It's like thick, man, 3 millimeters or something, and weighs more than I do. Dudes, look at all this drum stuff, man. You want to know more about it? Then subscribe to Modern Drummer. Join me. We have all these shenanigans to read. See you there.